leading the frontal assault on government lies and corruption. It's the Mr.X Files with John Mutton.
Live from Murderers Row Bar, this is the Mr.X Files. I'm John Mutton, Mr. X, and this is my partner, Benjamin Fudge.
Good to be here, John.
Good to see you again, buddy. Good to see you.
Carney was off in China with Xi Jinping and trying to work out some deals, which is good for us. And he was mentioning this word, New World Order, which I'm not sure. I think that scares a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what you think about that.
Oh, I think it's going to scare a lot of people, and I think a lot of the alt-right people are going to be going wild over it. And anyone that's got any conservative lean is going to not like that comment.
They say that he worked out that canola thing, though.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm of a couple of different opinions. I've been looking back at this and, thinking about, okay, they're such a huge trade partner. It's great to get back so someone doesn't have a tariff on us, right, in the world. And I like that idea that we're working at more of a free trade and to take away, obviously the tariffs, just the way they impact us. It's the cost of everything goes up, we pay, and it goes to government coffers. So it's great to take them off. However, he's got to be very careful who he's aligning himself with. So I think what they're trying to do is take away the absolute power that the United States have with economic power and create their own economic power. And Carney, as an economist and the former governor of the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England, he's got those types of contacts. But is this a business case that we really want to see? I don't know. My jury's out.
He keeps his comments pretty ambiguous, so you could go either way with them. You can read them however you want. So I think he's really careful about those ambiguous comments that could be read both ways.
Yeah, I don't want to see us lose automotive manufacturing. I don't want to see us lose anything. But we're losing, and because Trump wants all automotive manufacturing in the U.S. No, okay, I get it. Donald Trump is looking after the United States. That's what he should be doing. I get it that Carney's trying to look after Canada, as every prime minister should. However, the liberal track record is kind of like looking after everyone else as well.
Ford's mad at him.
Ford's mad at him, but okay. So, again, I'm a supporter of Doug. However, Doug's doing the same thing that Donald Trump is in Canada. So Trump is protecting the United States and putting the tariffs on and trying to keep all the jobs there, take jobs away from Canada and elsewhere. Well, what is Doug doing with the Crown Royal? Doug's doing the same thing because prairie provinces have a significant stake in Crown Royal. He doesn't care about those jobs. He cares about the jobs in Ontario. I get it because he has to look after Ontario. But Captain Canada, he is no more.
Nice shirt, John.
Yeah, they're actually a nice shirt. They're good quality. I like the way they feel on me, and I'm going to go train in this one after. So it's great for the gym. It's great for Mr.X Files.
Be a good conversation starter.
It is. It's a great conversation starter.
You get any stickers out there?
Yes, I do have stickers out there. There's one, in fact, on one of our sponsors, JW Foods, right on the front door.
Oh, yeah.
And I want you to go down to our other great sponsor, the Oshawa Durham Central, and put one right on their front door.
Oh, yeah. I'll put one right on Joe's shirt.
So, Ben, I wanted to talk a little bit about municipal political donations this week and how it works. So I've read a little bit recently on social media and people accusing developers of purchasing their municipal votes. Well, let me tell you, in Canada and specifically Ontario, it is not easy to raise raise money from development for your campaign. Unions are not allowed to donate, developers are not allowed to donate. So what they do is they accept personal donations. So in this case, the developer will have members of his family or others donate. And so it's really pushed the donation game underground, where before one company could give one check. Now they'll get people out of their company to donate multiple checks, but under their personal name. So that's how it happened. So I was reading a story that was published a while ago, actually, by Jessica over at the Trillium. It was an excellent story. And again, like, I wear everything that's thrown at me as well. So it talked about the super donors in last municipal election across Ontario. And HBNG, they put out $217,000 to municipal candidates. TAC, the DeGasperis family, put out $189,000. You know, they were key in the Green Belt. Fieldgate, $162,000. Over in Oshawa, the Lissick family, $54,000. Triple H Properties, which is the Pickering Casino, $36,000. Dorsey, that are developing North Pickering, $21 million. It's funny, a lot of Durham region-based developers are in the super donors list. And lo and behold, John Mutton, Mr. X, he had put $13,000 out there. But what I will tell you is that I put way more than $13,000 out there, because I have developers that come to me and say, John, who should we donate to in this municipality? Who should we donate into that municipality? So I likely steered $120,000, $140,000 to candidates out there, all legally. It's just that the donations, when the Wynne government came out and said you couldn't have corporate and union donations anymore, it actually opened up a door for donations, which I think only the mayors are going to get this time with strong mayors. Because why would you need to donate to a councillor when the mayors are making all the dominant decisions?
Yeah, I guess then we're going to see who the people are really going to vote for.
Well, yeah, you can't run a campaign without money. Although I've seen some self-funded campaigns win, for sure, and but the cost of campaigns, the signs are. There's not one person that I know that wants to get into the sign game in their campaign. It costs so much money. It's so much work on the campaign. And, but you can't ban them because of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. You can say, okay, they can't go here, they can't go there, but you can't ban signs. And signs are the only way sometimes to get your name out there, because there's no print media anymore except for our sponsor, the Oshawa Durham Central, who have the only print media publication in Durham region. But other than that, there's no place where you can advertise except for social media.
I remember back in the day, Jesse Cullen, when he was running.
Ah, yes, I remember
Jesse. He used
Jesse.
his mom's signs and he just put whiteout over his mom's name.
And you can do that as long as you claim them. Yeah, and April, she's a good friend of mine. She was a great counselor while she was a regional counselor with the city of Oshawa. And I remember Jesse as well, for sure. Yeah. A lot of these stories I get from people contacting me. I also observing what people talk about on social media. So regarding bylaw-related issues, parking tickets and so on, a lot of the public, they'll call the member of council and say, I've got a barking dog, or I got a ticket and I don't deserve the ticket, or my next door neighbor is running a business and he's not zoned for it, or my next door neighbor has a pile of garbage in his backyard and I want it removed. So these are property standard issues. So the councillor is likely to direct you to the bylaw department, and that's what they should do, because councillors cannot get involved with bylaw related issues, parking tickets, because it's obstruction of justice. They can be charged, they can be removed from office. It's not something that you want to happen. So there's been a recent one that's been making the rounds, and I want to be, I'm going to talk about a certain Clarington councillor, but I'm not blaming this Clarington councillor for what happened. It's just that he is the subject of it. So Clarington Ward 1 councillor Sammy Elijah, and I supported Sammy Elijah in the last election, and I don't have any issues with him at all. So apparently he was walking his dog, who recently passed away, and sorry to hear about that. You know, I'm a dog lover and I love dogs, without a leash. And the dog was not a bad dog, as I understand. He just continually walked without a leash. So he had complaints that came in. So the complaints came in, and I guess after numerous times walking the dog without a leash, he was charged. And those charges were to go to provincial offences court, and Clarington's chief administrative officer, Clarington's head of legal services, they decided to withdraw those charges because it was a member of council. Now, that indeed is obstruction of justice, because if a police officer, if a bylaw officer lays charges, they have to proceed to court. So I'm in possession of the documents where Councillor Elijah has been charged with walking his dog without a leash. Like I say, he did it. I walk my dog without a leash. So I'm not blaming him for walking a dog without a leash, not whatsoever. So this is just him being the subject. However, where the real issue is, it's with the municipal staff covering it up, because you won't see them do that to the regular Joe, the regular citizen. There's no way. So those charges were withdrawn, and I don't know what the small fine would have been, or an order that the councillor had to walk the dog with a leash on. That's not the issue. It's not the issue of the act of what he did. The issue is they actually obstructed justice by not following through with the charges or making the officer withdraw the charges.
No, that's kind of weird, because if it was a technicality, it still should have went to court and been let off on the technicality.
Well, 100%. And the more that we see and the more that I read, you know, I've been reading the stories on Clarington Current last week, who've been exposing several items that I didn't even know about, both with documents and factual proof. And they're, you know, this is a province-wide thing, and a Canada-wide thing, is that councillors cannot get involved in the bylaw parts of it. They can't get involved in policing as well. You can guide the budgets, but you cannot get involved in the actual nitty-gritty of those things. And so, as I'm reading it more, we never did that when I was there. We stood so far away from bylaw-related issues, we wouldn't touch it. The council were smart enough that they wouldn't touch it either. They said, no, I can't. This is a legal issue now. However, I have no idea why the administration of the municipality of Clarington decided to stick their nose in on something like this. But every week I hear something, since we exposed a few times now things going on in that municipality. And this is just an example of how not to do things in the province of Ontario, Ben.
Our commenters and viewers wanted to touch base on the Bill C-63, the Online Harms Act, and Bill C-9. They're related, and they both talk about hate speech, and how the Bill C-9 is more related to religion, and saying that you can't you can't say that you can't be against homosexuals in your religion. And the Online Harms Act is saying that we can't talk about certain stuff online, and it could be considered hate speech. So, in my opinion, I'm totally against any form of censorship. I should be able to say, I want to put and on my in until Sunday, if that's what I want to say.
Well, I believe fully in freedom of speech. And one of the things that I also believe in is a freedom that we don't have to live in fear. And that freedom that we don't have to live in fear is that we're able to debate people online and not have to debate someone that stands behind a fake profile or anonymous. And they're the type of people that are causing what I believe is the hate speech, the rumors, the innuendo of the weak and the jealous people. And I have several of them that are attacking me every week. But we should be able to say anything that we want as long as there's somebody at the other end of that can defend it. So Ben, you don't hide from anyone. If you got something to say to me, you don't like my haircut or you don't like something, you're going to say it right to me and we're going to debate it. And then we're going to move on to the next issue and have a coffee.
I would never tell you I don't like your haircut, John. I keep it positive, you know me.
I believe in freedom of speech. I think you're 100% right. We don't need censorship. What we do need is some more laws against those people who are hiding behind fake profiles and anonymous profiles and slandering and libeling people. That has to stop. There has to be a law about that. Social media and Facebook got to step up and start canceling some of those accounts.
You think so, huh?
Yeah, but other than that, if you're a real person and you're making real comments, you should be allowed to make them.
Well, then there's going to be some problems, John, because not everybody goes by their birth name. Some people were born John Smith, and then they changed their name to Strawberry Sparkles. And
I'm fine with that, as long as they're a real person.
And they're going by that name. But now Facebook has to try to figure out who they are. And if your name is Strawberry Sparkles, you might not have that on your ID. Mm-hmm. So now we got to dead name people. You know what that term is? Dead name? After if someone has changed their name or changed their gender or changed something about themselves, and then you go and use their old name, they call it dead naming somebody. And it's offensive, and people don't like it when you do that.
Well, that's really interesting because back in 1997, there were 200 dead names, I believe, that voted in the Pickering municipal election.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. I remember it was quite the interesting time.
Yeah. I wanted to ask the viewers, do you like the term New World Order? What do you think Cardi meant by that? Let us know in the comments. And I got another question for the viewers. Do you think Canada's on the right track? Leave a comment, and we'll talk. We'll respond back next week.
Yeah. Well, let's them make their comments, because I know what my comment would be, but I really want to hear from them, because sometimes people can change my mind if they make a good point. Well, Ben, we came up with quite a bit of discussion this week on a couple of issues on the fundraising and the donations across Ontario for the municipal election. We talked about obstruction of justice on the municipal side, and we talked about a federal issue with Carney. I just can't wait to next week. Stay tuned. We're going to have another great show for you next week. Don't shovel too much snow.
This week's episode has been brought to you in cooperation with the Oshawa Central Newspaper and JW Foods.